A single everyday vegetable, eaten in millions of homes, has been quietly straining the hearts of older adults without raising any suspicion. Many people over 60 feel unusual fatigue, heavier legs, or sudden pressure in the chest, and never realize their meals may be involved. Doctors have been warning that this common food creates changes in the bloodstream that the aging heart struggles to manage. What makes this warning so urgent is how harmless the vegetable appears, how normal it feels on the plate, and how easily it slips into the diet every week without anyone noticing its hidden impact. If understanding these hidden risks helps you protect your heart, consider subscribing so more seniors can receive guidance that supports healthier aging. Your likes and comments help this community grow and allow important health information to reach those who need it most. Together, each small choice becomes a stronger step forward. The vegetable to avoid after 60. Potatoes, especially fried or processed. Potatoes begin affecting the heart the moment they break down into fast-absorbing starch, which the body converts almost instantly into sugar. Some cardiologists explain that this rapid rise in blood sugar forces the heart and blood vessels to work harder, especially in people over 60 whose arteries may already be less flexible. When potatoes are eaten regularly in forms like fries, chips, hash browns, or heavily seasoned mashed potatoes, the sugar load stays high enough, long enough, to quietly weaken the balance that keeps the heart functioning smoothly. This becomes even more concerning with age because the metabolism slows, meaning these starches linger longer in the bloodstream than they did earlier in life. Potatoes become even more harmful once they are exposed to high heat. Doctors often warn that frying creates compounds known as advanced glycation end products, or AGEs, which stiffen blood vessels and make it harder for blood to move freely. These compounds also encourage inflammation, a process that many heart specialists associate with worsening plaque buildup. Even baked or mashed potatoes, when consumed in large portions or paired with heavy salt and butter, raise the heart's workload by sending insulin levels sharply upward. The older the body becomes, the slower it responds to these rapid changes, and the longer the heart remains under stress after each meal. Another quiet danger lies in the sodium hidden inside processed potato foods. Many packaged fries, frozen hash browns, and ready-made mashed potatoes contain far more salt than most adults realize. Excess sodium pulls fluid into the bloodstream, increasing the pressure against artery walls. Doctors frequently remind older adults that even small increases in pressure can place extra strain on a heart that is already working harder with age. For seniors who enjoy these foods daily or several times a week, the combination of fast starch, added salt, and inflammatory fry oils becomes a steady burden on the cardiovascular system. Because potatoes feel familiar and comforting, many seniors never suspect that something so ordinary can have such a powerful effect. Yet the warnings from heart specialists have grown stronger over the years, not because potatoes are inherently bad, but because their modern forms and oversized portions make them far more dangerous than they were generations ago. Understanding how this single vegetable can push the heart towards silent damage is the first step towards using when, how, and whether to include it safely after 60. Why this vegetable becomes more dangerous with age. Potatoes become more harmful after 60 because the body no longer handles starch the way it once did. As metabolism slows and muscle mass naturally decreases, the ability to process large amounts of fast carbohydrates weakens. Some doctors explain that older adults release insulin more slowly, allowing blood sugar to stay elevated for longer periods after eating high-starch foods like potatoes. When this happens repeatedly, the arteries begin to stiffen, and the heart must work harder to push blood through vessels that are no longer as flexible or responsive. This slower metabolic response is not a sign of poor health. It is simply a natural part of aging that changes how the body reacts to everyday foods. Another reason potatoes become more dangerous with age is the increased sensitivity of the arteries themselves. Heart specialists often describe how blood vessels lose elasticity over time, making them more vulnerable to sudden changes in sugar and pressure. When a potato-based meal causes a rapid spike in glucose, the stiffened arteries are less able to expand and absorb the shock. This forces the heart to compensate by pumping harder, increasing strain that may go unnoticed but accumulates over months and years. Even people who never had blood sugar concerns earlier in life may begin to feel the effects simply because their vessels are aging. Seniors also experience greater effects from the sodium commonly added to potato dishes. Older kidneys process sodium less efficiently, allowing fluid to build up more easily in the bloodstream. This raises blood pressure, which cardiologists warn is one of the strongest predictors of heart complications after 60. When potatoes appear daily in the form of fries, chips, or seasoned frozen foods, the combined impact of starch and sodium becomes even more difficult for the heart to manage. These age-related changes transform a once harmless vegetable into something that requires more caution and more awareness than before. How this vegetable silently damages the heart. Potatoes begin harming the heart quietly by causing sharp rises in blood sugar, a reaction that becomes more dramatic with age. When this spike occurs, the body releases a surge of insulin to lower the glucose level. But in adults over 60, this process is slower and less efficient. Cardiologists explain that repeated sugar surges stiffen the inner lining of the arteries, making it harder for blood to move through them with ease. Over time, this stiffness limits circulation and forces the heart to pump with more pressure, even during simple daily activities. These changes happen gradually, which is why many seniors never connect them to the foods they eat. Potatoes also raise triglycerides, a type of fat in the bloodstream that increases when the body breaks down excessive starch. High triglycerides thicken the blood and contribute to plaque formation along artery walls. Heart specialists warn that this combination, thicker blood and narrowed vessels, creates the perfect environment for silent strain on the heart. Even meals that seem harmless, like mashed potatoes or hash browns, can contribute to this buildup when eaten frequently. Another hidden danger comes from AGEs, or advanced glycation end products, which form when potatoes are fried or cooked at very high heat. Researchers studying cardiovascular aging have linked these compounds to inflammation, oxidative stress, and further stiffening of the arteries. Fried potatoes, such as chips and French fries, contain some of the highest levels of these harmful substances, making them especially dangerous for seniors whose hearts already work harder. Many packaged potato products also contain high amounts of sodium, which increases blood pressure by drawing more fluid into the bloodstream. For older adults, even modest increases in pressure can burden the heart. All these effects, sugar spikes, triglyceride rises, ages, and sodium, combine silently, creating strain that builds slowly but steadily with each serving of this familiar vegetable. The most dangerous forms of potatoes for seniors are the ones exposed to high heat, heavy salt, and processed oils, because these methods create the greatest stress on the heart. French fries sit at the top of the list, since they carry a powerful combination of starch, sodium, and inflammatory fry oils. Cardiologists often warn that this trio produces the sharpest spikes in blood sugar and the highest levels of artery-stiffening compounds. Potato chips follow closely behind, offering the same risks in a smaller, more concentrated form that is easy to overeat without noticing how much salt and oil have been consumed. Frozen potato products such as pre-made fries and hash browns become dangerous because many are pre-fried and seasoned long before they reach the kitchen. This means the heart is exposed to high sodium and unhealthy fats before cooking begins. Mashed potatoes with added butter, cream, or seasoning mix raise the same concerns as the richness and salt content increase the workload on aging arteries. Hash browns, especially those cooked in processed oils, add another layer of stress through heat-formed compounds linked to inflammation. Each version becomes more harmful after 60 because the heart can no longer buffer these combined effects as easily as it once did. A safe way to eat potatoes if you truly love them. Potatoes can still be enjoyed after 60 when prepared in a gentler way that respects the heart's changing needs. Many doctors explained that the biggest issue is not the potato itself, but the portion size, the cooking method, and the added salt and fats. A small serving of potatoes cooked without frying reduces the rapid glucose surge that strains aging arteries. Baking them or boiling them with the skin on allows the natural fibers to remain, helping slow the rise in blood sugar. Seasoning lightly and avoiding heavy butter or cream keeps the meal from adding pressure to the bloodstream. Some cardiologists encourage pairing potatoes with protein or vegetables to steady the body's response and protect the heart from sudden spikes. For seniors who have enjoyed potatoes their whole life, this approach offers a balanced way to keep a familiar comfort food without placing unnecessary stress on the cardiovascular system.